Before I start this video, I want to mention that I was not paid by Pojifi company in order to review this controller. They just went ahead and sent me the controller for free for review, so I was not actually paid by them. I will be giving my personal opinion and honest thoughts on what I think about the controller. Hey, what is up, people? It is your boy Johnny. In today's video, we're going to be showcasing and reviewing the Pojifi Nintendo Switch wireless controller. Now, this controller is compatible with the PC, so if you have a gaming PC, you can actually hook it up to your PC. And I believe it's also compatible to many other devices, probably such as Android and iPhone, possibly. So this is a new competitor in the market for the Nintendo Switch controllers, and the company name is Pojifi. Sorry if I didn't pronounce it right, but it definitely brings a lot of features. So let's go ahead and unbox the controller and go ahead and check it out. Now, one of the things that really has me hyped up about this controller is the amount of features that they have included into it, and it makes it very premium. There's even an application that you can use on your phone, and you can download it to program certain stuff in the controller. As you guys can see, it also brings back paddles, and it tells you a bunch of stuff about the controller in the back. As you guys can see, RT buttons, turbo button, screenshot. It has all the stuff, and you can do a bunch of other stuff as well. The M2 buttons and the turbo function, easy connection and long working hours. It includes a Switch wireless controller, interchangeable thumbsticks adjustment tool, and USB cable, and carrying case and paddles. So that's pretty interesting. And then on the side, it just tells you a little bit more about it. And it has a stereo headset jack, the interchangeable thumbsticks, the USB cable, and the carrying case and thumbstick adjustment tool, and the paddles. So yeah, I believe they're new in the market. I personally haven't really heard of this company before, so it was really interesting to see them. So one cool thing about it, it does bring a carrying case. Not a lot of controllers bring a decent carrying case, and this one doesn't look too bad. It's not leather or anything, but it is pretty high quality cloth. But it's pretty cool. So yeah, it even brings that. I've seen other controller competitors who just bring a pretty simple case and don't even bring a decent case like this. So thumbs up for that. That's interesting. As you guys can see, it has the instruction guides. Turn it around, it has English as well. It tells you all the product features on there as well, the product programming, that you can set different buttons to work as different stuff, automatic function, the turbo, which is something where you can do semi-automatic or automatic continuous transmission. Basically is useful for FPS games when you're shooting, so that will be interesting to look at later on in the video. LED lights as well. You got the LED lights as well. Mapping programming, macro defined, so you can like do macros. Basically, if you want a button to do certain amount of commands, you can enable it to do those commands all at once. Some people use that in certain games. I personally never really use that, so we'll see if we check it out. You can also even adjust the setting of the vibration with the dual motor. Alright, so that's pretty interesting as well. And it has different stuff. And then they talk about the apps and firmware updates. So it's going to be a controller that you can firmware update. So enough of the instructions. Let's go ahead and open up the actual controller itself. So you get a pretty nice USB-C cable as with the controller. Braided cable as well. And a charger. Usually these are just meant for charging and doing simple tasks on the computer, such as going ahead and register the controller with your PC. Alright, so it definitely feels like an Xbox 360 controller, or an Xbox One controller, I mean. Definitely has that Xbox feel. The D-pad is alright, I guess. It kind of reminds me of the Xbox One. Honestly, it feels exactly like the Xbox controller. Not that it's a bad thing, but it just feels like the Xbox controller. Even the buttons feel good. As you guys can see there, I will even do a comparison real quick. The Xbox One feels a little bit heavier, but even the D-pad feels a little bit different. Thumbsticks and everything else feel probably about the same. So that is really cool. It does feel like an Xbox controller. Feels a little bit less lightweight. So yeah, but it does feel like a Xbox controller. And that's not a bad thing. A lot of people have really great preference for the Xbox controller feel, so that's not a bad thing at all. It does have like these little grips on the back, so that's a major plus when it comes to these controllers. Having those grips in the back is a major plus because it makes it feel better on the hand with the texture. As you guys can see, it has a D-pad, and I believe they are detachable. Mine came a little bit detached, but you can take them off and you can put them on as well. On and off button, I believe, as well. Don't know if this one came charged though. But yeah, it pretty much feels good for the most part. I think I have to charge it. So we're gonna look at some of the thumbsticks. As you guys can see right there on the screen, it brings its own thumbsticks. And they're really covered. I mean, you can see the different sizes they have. Maybe you might like a different size or style as well. And you can see how bigger some are than others. Personally, I never really use these, but I can definitely see certain people wanting to change them as they are playing because some people have a big preference. Definitely a welcome feature as well. And then this is a key. This is a key supposedly to adjust the analog sticks. Basically make them tighter or less looser. Sometimes this is apparently supposed to help with the Joy-Con, not Joy-Con drift, but the drift in the thumbsticks. And you can keep adjusting it on your controller so you can make it tighter and adjust it the way you want it. That way, if you want it more tighter on the thumbsticks, you can, and it will help you prevent joystick drift. And I think they are magnetic, so they should be pretty easy to take off. And like I said, they actually are pretty easy to take off. That was actually pretty easy, as you guys are seeing there. You can just take them off like that. So yo, that's really cool. And you can put a different one. Wow, yeah, they just come off like that, like nothing. I don't know if the original ones look fine though to me. I would just stick with the original ones, but you know, like I said, it's up to your personal preference. But yeah, they come up pretty easily. All right, so one thing that I wanted to show you right before I actually start using the controller is this little device. Let me focus in. As you guys can see, the little key, and basically you put it in there. Okay, I see how it works. You can tighten it up and you can you can basically tighten it up and loosen it, so you guys can see. Kind of hard to do it on camera, but yeah, you can tighten the sticks all the way. Personally, I would leave it all the way tied because that will give it the most grips. But yo, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now, I haven't seen this in a different controller, so that's pretty new to me. That is something that I haven't seen other controllers done, pretty much. I don't know, there might be a controller out there that has already done this, but this is the first one I've seen. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and test out the next things, and we're gonna continue the video. All right, so I did read the manual a bit, and they do have certain commands for the turbo. But right now, I'm just going to show you guys when it lights up with the LEDs. As you guys can see, it has these really cool LED lights that make it look more futuristic, in my opinion. So that looks pretty cool as well. And I believe it has the home button here as well. And you should see a turbo button as well that you can press, and the plus and minus button. And I haven't really connected it to anything else. But you can also adjust the vibration. I'm not sure which button it is. I think it's this one at the moment. But I have to actually connect to a console first, which we're going to do next. Alright, so we're gonna attempt to pair it with the Nintendo Switch. As you guys may know, always pairing a controller with the Nintendo Switch is kind of a pain in the butt. Um, but we're going to be pairing new controllers. I don't even know if it's fine controller or change grip order. No, that's not the way it is. I think it's fine controllers. I always forget for some reason. But anyways, we're gonna be pairing it with the Switch. And I believe all you have to do is press the home button on the Switch. Let's see if it pairs with the Switch controller. Or maybe I'm doing it wrong. Change grip order possibly might be the reason why. Yep, it was change grip order. I don't know. I always have difficulties for some reason when it comes to pairing a controller. But just go to change grip order and press that home button right here. That is here, and you should be able to pair it with your Nintendo Switch. And it works pretty well for the most part. Alright, so once you pair it up with your Nintendo Switch or your PC, you will be able to change the vibration settings. I guess certain stuff gets enabled after you're able to connect the controller onto the system. So this is the button that you will use to change the vibration settings. So they have 3: strong, middle, and weak. 3 different settings. As you guys can see, each time you use it, the vibration feels stronger. So you can adjust it any way you want at any time. I think that's a pretty neat feature. Some people don't really like the vibration on the controller, but it still feels kind of strong in the vibration, but not a bad thing, I guess. So that's actually pretty cool. You can adjust it to the way you want. Alright, so now I'm going to program the back paddles, and actually it seems pretty easy just on the controller. You're going to want to go ahead and make sure this is on the on button. And once you do that, you're going to press this button on the back once. So make sure to press that once. And as you guys can see, the light should be blinking there. And on the back, you're going to go ahead and hold the back paddle that you want to program. So I'm going to go with the left one right now, and I'm going to press A. Now the reason I'm doing this is because in Call of Duty with this, you know, you can drop shot like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold the B button and should program to the A button. So let's see if the A button, yes, it did. As you guys can see on the Nintendo Switch, it's working with that as well. So that's how you know I did program it pretty well on the back. You can't really see that, but yeah, it did get programmed in the back with that button. So that's cool. As you guys can see, it did program well. Now, if you want to program the next one, I would recommend turning it off. I always turn it off and turn it back on as well, but you don't have to. So we're going to program the next one, and we're going to press it again. And this time we're going to program the other one, the right paddle on the back. And I'm usually going to do it with this, because this is like the knife. So yeah, should be programmed in already. That will only work in gameplay, but that's my personal settings, how I like to program my controller with the back paddles. Definitely in Call of Duty games like that, that's what I find most useful for, like a melee attack, or as well as pressing the A button as well. So pretty simple. Just press the button once, and the back paddle, hold it, and the other button, and once you see the triangle or arrow, you should be good. As you guys saw. One other little tip on the controller that I probably didn't mention earlier: you can also change the way the thumbstick feels, if you want to make it looser, or if you want to make it tighter, kind of like the resistance thing. Basically, you can also turn it around like that, and it'll feel a little bit looser, and as you turn it in the right way, it'll feel a little bit more tight. So you can do that on the thumbsticks. You can adjust it the way you like, without using the key. So that's a pretty neat feature. I personally leave it not too tight, but just at the end of it because it feels tighter and probably will help a lot with the drift. So yeah. So yeah, it's up to your personal preference, but that's just one tip you can do to adjust the thumbstick's tightness if you want it looser or tighter. Alright guys, so I'm going to demonstrate a little bit of the turbo mode and what you can do with it. Turbo mode is definitely a mode that can be recommended sometimes, and in certain situations I wouldn't recommend it. But you can go ahead and enable turbo by pressing this, and that will give you automatic firing, so that means the gun will keep shooting automatically. I believe this is an automatic gun, but it really wouldn't make that much of a difference on the controller because this is an automatic one, but it definitely shoots faster, as you guys can see. It might even help shoot the ammunition a little bit faster. But when it comes to the pistol, look how fast it shoots. It definitely shoots way faster than before, so you get an idea on how it works. You can also disable automatic turbo by just going ahead and pressing the turbo button and disabling it. So I ran out of ammunition there. So right now it's disabled. You won't really won't notice it with the other one, as you guys can see. It's more noticeable on the pistol. So let's go ahead and enable it again. And it should be enabled again right there. So let's go ahead and try it out with the pistol. Alright, I don't know what I did. I don't know why I jumped. Probably shouldn't have jumped. So let's go ahead and try it out, and if we can find an enemy in this map. This map has been a pain in the butt for a lot of people, including myself. So I see an enemy. Somewhat. Turbo mode is definitely there. Disabled it for there. Does help a little bit faster, kind of like having rapid fire. But it's more useful with the pistol, as you guys can see right there. You can also try another weapon. This one's a full auto. Let's try another weapon. Ooh, the M16 should be good for this. Alright, since the M16 is a burst weapon, this one should be better. As you guys can see, the M16 was shooting way faster. So that's a better weapon. So you get a gist of the turbo and what it does with the controller. Now I'm going to give my final thoughts on what I think about the Pojifi Nintendo Switch Pro controller. So I have to say that I am definitely astonished that the price of this controller is only $33 right now on Amazon with a 50% off coupon. That's actually insane. For the amount of features that this controller has, It is definitely one of the cheapest ones out there with a premium quality. And on top of that, it also has a lot of features that certain controllers out there don't even have. For example, turbo mode was definitely one of the things that brought my attention to this controller. It even has an application that you can use in Bluetooth. While it may not be the best, but it still works fine. Other things that I was really impressed with the controller, it has back paddles and it has a lot of customization on the thumbsticks as well. You can also adjust the thumbstick as well how you like it, so it helps you without getting that much drift on the controller. Even though I didn't really feel there was any drift, it has macros as well that you can program in order to be able to have a certain amount of buttons pressed at the same time with a macro. So that's a lot of features. I've seen other controllers and reviewed other controllers that really don't bring these amount of features. I think that the price is really good for it. It feels like an Xbox One controller. So if you ever used an Xbox One controller, it's pretty close to feeling like an Xbox controller. So if you're looking to know the feel of the controller, you're gonna be feeling it like an Xbox controller. And that's not a bad thing because the Xbox controllers I feel is one of the best ones out there in the market. So it is more dedicated to the Nintendo Switch, but you can also use it on PC. You can do some PC gaming on this with Call of Duty or any other PC game that you want. So there's an option for that as well. But for a Nintendo Switch controller, I have to say the price is pretty good, and as well as the amount of features it has. Even the battery lasts for 18 hours to them. So you're gonna get a long battery life. Overall, for the price, I definitely recommend the controller. If anybody is looking to buy it in the market, like $33 is something you really can't beat compared to some other controllers there are out there for $100, but this one is like $33. It's pretty cheap. Now I won't say it's the highest quality controller I've used. I felt like the D-pad definitely needed some improvement, but it wasn't a big major deal in my opinion. I don't really use the D-pad in games as much. It could be a major deal for you or other people. I feel like the D-pad could have used a little bit of redesign or made it a little bit different. Personally, I don't like the D-pad, but it's not going to be a deal breaker if you don't really use the D-pad as much, or if you're really into the D-pad, then it might be a deal breaker. But other than that, that's probably the only con I see of it. So overall, would I recommend it? Yes, I definitely would recommend it. The price for the amount of features it has is a really good controller. So yeah, I don't know if Amazon will have that 50% off coupon forever, but right now for that price, it's not a bad deal. So anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a nice day.